Pick up on one of the terms that you used here is that people do treat Terence McKenna religiously. And in fact, it's been quite specific when, I've made my own commentaries of Terence McKenna. And sometimes people come back and say, how dare you insult our prophet? When we treat Terence McKenna as some kind of religious figure or think that everything that he says is holy and sacrosanct, that we're really cutting ourselves off from our own deeper explorations. I find that deeply troubling that we are within, and I say we more broadly, within the entheogenic and psychedelic communities, that this person is not openly critiqued that, hey, he made very specific predictions about what he thought 2012 was about, and he's completely wrong. Nothing that he said is actually accurate in any way, shape, or form. So then why the adulation? Why is there so much attention given to the words that this man says when they're wrong? And I think that that's something that people ought to acknowledge within the psychedelic community, that yes, he's a great inspiration. He's a great speaker. He seems like a fun guy, but he also was deeply wrong.
Okay, so he gets so far out there into outer space, and he's talking about DMT elves and all of this other crazy stuff about dimensions and hyperdimensional space. Now, the farther he went off on the rails, now he was just, I think, a storyteller at first, and he was just kind of going off on a lark. Like, I have these ideas. They're big ideas. Maybe they're crazy ideas, but I'm going to spin them. And he was such a good storyteller that people loved him and they wanted more. And as he became more famous and as he became more popular, he also became more isolated and withdrawn. And at the height of his success in the community, his family was falling apart. He got a divorce. He became estranged from his kids for a while. He moved to a really isolated spot on the Big Island of Hawaii and just surrounded himself with like fans and sycophants who were just there to sort of, say, yeah, Terence, way to go. You're the man. And by isolating himself in that bubble, I think he lost perspective of what was real and what was true. And, maybe lost the respect of his family and lost a lot of, the social, a lot, his family was going to, have him put in an institution for a while because he just couldn't stop talking about this stuff, the time wave, how the world was going to end in 2012 and the I Ching and the time wave. And the farther he got into the time wave and the more people got interested in this sort of end of the world rap that he had, the farther away he got from anybody who was actually going to be open and honest with him as a human being. He became a cartoon character of himself. He became a caricature of Terence McKenna. No longer the man, but the guru.
Which is exactly what he preached against.
I really felt sad at the end when he got sick and he was kind of alone. I mean, he had a girlfriend at that point who was taking care of him and a couple of friends and caretakers that were taking care of him. But it was really members of the psychedelic community who were like going out to visit him and help him out in those later days because he didn't really have any family left that he can count on, except for, Dennis helped him out, of course. His younger brother was gonna be there for him, but it was sad, I thought, at the end to see how kind of isolated and alone he became, even though people see him as like really successful and really popular and having a huge following worldwide. I think he was in the end really kind of alone and alienated, and it made me definitely think I don't want to end up like that.